When the heat of the game is suffocating, the tension is roof high, and fans are biting their nails in their seats in anticipation, the clutch moment has arrived and may the best player win. With the most iconic clutch moments under his belt, it is not surprising that Michael Jordan is regarded as the best NBA player ever. Jordan's legendary energy is unmatched, and he has the trophies to back that claim. He is a 6-time NBA champion and NBA Finals MVP, a 5-time NBA regular season MVP, and more. Winning these awards was made possible by his prodigy-level skill, intelligence, zen-like calm in the middle of a heated game, and of course, his iconic clutch shots. In this video, we will be looking back at Michael Jordan's most memorable clutch moments. Stay with us to the end to be amazed by one of the greatest athletes of all time. North Carolina vs. Georgetown. In Michael Jordan's own words on his performance in the North Carolina vs. Georgetown game, quote, "That was the birth of Michael Jordan. Before that, I was Mike Jordan." In 1982, the Tar Heels faced the Georgetown Hoyas in the finals of the NCAA championship. Among the rosters were several future Hall of Famers and NBA veterans, including MJ, Patrick Ewing, James Worthy, Sleepy Floyd, Sam Perkins, and Bill Martin. Future UNC coach Matt Doherty and MJ's future Charlotte Hornets partner, Buzz Peterson, were also beginning their long journey in the NBA. It was a tough matchup for North Carolina as Georgetown had their talisman, Ewing and Floyd. With the game drawing to a close, the Tar Heels found themselves on the losing end, and the chances of winning their second NCAA title grew slimmer. Then, with 16 seconds to go, Jordan got the ball and finished with a mid-range jumper that gave North Carolina a 63-62 win over Georgetown. The game began with Jordan as a UNC freshman, with promising prospects, and ended with him as a rising star. 2 years later, he would be drafted into the NBA as the third overall pick. The shot. On May 7, 1989, the Chicago Bulls faced Cleveland Cavaliers in Rich Coliseum, Ohio. It was Game 5 of the Eastern Conference first-round series, and the Bulls were there for redemption. The Cavs have won all 6 of their regular season clashes and were heavily favored to win the series. The Bulls were yet to become the winning franchise and were heavily outmatched by the Cavaliers in stats. Winning only 44 of their games to 57 for the Cavs, it was all about the change, and that evening, Jordan broke the hearts of Cavaliers fans and helped the Bulls shed their losing mentality. In the last 3 seconds of the game, the Cavaliers led 199 with Craig Ilho scoring what seemed to be the last points of the match, but the Bulls still had some fire left in them. On the inbounds, Jordan faked to create space between him and Larry Nance and received the ball from Brad Sellers. At the foul line, he made a jump shot hanging in the air for a second, which made him evade Craig Ilho's defensive block. The shot made the basket at the buzzer and gave the Bulls a well-deserved 101-100 win over the Cavaliers. Although the Chicago Bulls lost to the Detroit Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals, Michael Jordan had begun his legendary rise to the top. The flu game. Most people would happily give the flu as an excuse for not showing up to work, but for his airness, failing to show up for a game was not an option. Suffering from a severe case of the flu, he turned up for Game 5 of the 1997 NBA Finals so sick and dehydrated that he staggered while playing. He had thrown up all night and was placed on IVs in the locker room, yet he played for 44 minutes and dropped 38 points, including the game winner. The Chicago Bulls were tied 2-2 with Utah Jazz in the best-of-5 series, and it was bound to be a tough game. In the first quarter, MJ could only make a fair play, but he pulled through in the second and scored 17 points. He would score another 7 points in the fourth quarter. He would complete his scoring run by converting a pass from teammate Scottie Pippen into a three-pointer in the final seconds of the game. The flu game has become one of Michael Jordan's most iconic moments, a testament to his resilience in the game. The video clip of Pippen helping him off the floor after he collapsed in exhaustion has also become one of the most memorable moments in sports. The shot, number 2. Once is a mistake, but twice? For a man who said he has missed 9,000 shots during his career, Michael Jordan has made the most of the shots he did not miss. In the 1993 Eastern Conference semifinals, where the Chicago Bulls faced the Cleveland Cavaliers, Jordan repeated his clutch moment from 4 years ago and gave us what we now call the shot number 2. In the last 18 seconds of the game, the Bulls and Cavs were tied at 101. With the final 6 seconds running, Jordan received a ball near the free throw line, dribbled to his left with Cavalier defenders closing in on him, then executed a perfect fadeaway jumper to break the tie and give Chicago the win. It was a dramatic conclusion to a highly tense game, and the Coliseum erupted in both cheers of victory and sighs of disappointment. The Double Nickel Game. On March 25, 1995, Jordan played his 5th game since returning to the NBA after an 18-month retirement. The Chicago Bulls were up against the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden, and for many, his airness had lost some of his steam during the 18 months he chased success as a minor league baseball player. The Bulls had Scottie Pippen and Thomas Kukoc as their star duo, so MJ had to earn his place back. The Knicks were not going to make it easy for him, so they assigned John Starks, a familiar foe, the task of keeping him from the basket. It was all in vain. Jordan proved he was still the unstoppable force from 1993 by plowing the Knicks with 55 points. But New York was not a pushover, and they fought back, tying the game at 111-111. But Jordan was not done yet. For MJ, it was not about making the basket, but making the play. He became invincible after he began to trust his teammates, and on the night of the double nickel, he would show that he was also a team player. In the final seconds of the game, Jordan was able to get an overhead pass to Bill Wennington despite being double-teamed by Starks and Patrick Ewing. Wennington sealed the deal in the last 3 seconds to give the Bulls and Michael one of their greatest game nights ever. The last shot. Michael Jordan was a Chicago Bull for most of his NBA career and is arguably the best Bulls player ever. It takes an exceptional player to accomplish what he did with the Bulls, which includes a double three-peat when he joined the franchise. Chicago was yet to win an NBA title. When he left, they had won 6 titles in 8 years. Jordan retired thrice from the NBA, with the third being his final. Before he retired for the second time, he left us with one of our favorite moments in NBA history, and another chapter in the legend of Michael Jordan. For lack of a better phrase, it is now known as the last shot. On June 14, 1998, the Chicago Bulls clashed with the Utah Jazz on their home turf in Salt Lake City, Utah. It was Game 6 of the 1998 NBA Finals, and with the score of 3-2, it could lead to a Game 7 if the Jazz secured a win. The Utah Jazz were determined to bring the series to a tie, and were leading 86-85. It was a close challenge, and with time running out, the tension on both teams was roof high. Then Karl Malone got within a yard of the Bulls' basket to add another point for Jazz, but lost the ball to Michael, who was waiting to pick the ball away. With the timer counting down from 18 seconds, Michael ran down the court, evaded Brian Russell's defense with a crossover dribble and a shove, then nailed a 20-footer. It was 5.2 seconds, and the Bulls had taken an 87-86 lead in the game. Michael's shot would end up being the game winner, and the Bulls clinched the title to complete their second three-peat. It would also be his last shot for the team he had played for since '84. Michael Jordan has gone down in history as the greatest basketball player to ever play the game, and his complete dominance of the court is the reason for that. He was a well-rounded player, capable of putting in much work and making great plays wherever he found himself on the court. Several of his records have been broken by new generations of players, from Kobe Bryant to LeBron James, but none would be on par with Michael, because the game is just not the way it was in the 90s. His airness would always be the clutch player to watch out for, reliably delivering the shots when his team needs them the most. This is where we draw the curtains on another exciting episode, and we hope you enjoyed every minute of it. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell to stay updated. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.